Every morning when we wake up, we're handed something extraordinary, a brand new page. Think about that. Yesterday may have been messy, difficult, even heartbreaking, but when you open your eyes, you get another chance. The question is, how do we begin writing on that page? What words shape the story of our day before it even begins? There are 9 things we should tell ourselves every morning. Today, I'll share 7 of them with you. If you practice them daily, they'll change not only the way you live, but also the way people experience you. I am alive, and that's my first blessing. Gratitude should always be the opening note of your morning. The moment you wake up, before your feet even touch the floor, before your mind starts racing with the demands of the day, there is one truth that deserves recognition: you are here. You are alive. Your heart is still beating. Your lungs are still drawing air. And that alone is worth pausing for. The problem is most of us skip right past it. We wake up and our first instinct is to grab our phone, to check emails, to see who messaged us while we were asleep, to scroll through news that convinces us the world is crumbling. We rush into chaos before we even acknowledge the gift of existence. But imagine this, someone out there went to sleep last night with plans for today, hopes for tomorrow, and they never woke up. Their story ended. Yours didn't. You were given another page to write, another sunrise to witness, another chance to make a difference. That breath in your lungs isn't just biology, it's an invitation. Gratitude has the power to reframe everything. When you say, I am alive, and that's my first blessing, you remind yourself that no matter what's waiting for you, stress at work, financial pressure, unfinished tasks, you have already started the day with something invaluable: life. And with life, you have options, you have choices, you have opportunities. Without it, nothing else matters. Research backs this truth. A Harvard study found that people who practice morning gratitude aren't just happier, they are more productive, more resilient, and more engaged with the people around them. Gratitude isn't some fluffy, feel-good concept. It's practical. It literally changes your brain. Neuroscience shows that when you focus on what you're thankful for, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that improve your mood, reduce stress, and sharpen focus. It trains your mind to look for possibility rather than problems. And when you start your day in that state, you set a tone that carries into every decision, every interaction, every challenge. Think of gratitude as a lens. 2 people can wake up to the same reality. One wakes up and says, well, I have so much to do today. I'm exhausted. I can't handle this. The other wakes up and says, I am alive. I get another chance. I may have challenges, but I have breath in my lungs and strength in my body to face them. The circumstances might be identical, but the outcomes won't be. The first person walks in the day defeated before it even begins. The second walks in with fuel. I once met a man who had survived a near-death accident. He told me something that stuck with me. When you've looked death in the eye and been given another chance, every morning feels like a gift. The coffee tastes better. The sun shines brighter. Even traffic doesn't bother you the same way, because you're just happy you're still here to experience it. He wasn't just grateful for the big things. He was grateful for the ordinary things most of us overlook. That shift in perspective didn't remove his challenges, but it changed how he carried them. And that's what gratitude does. It doesn't erase problems, but it gives you the strength to face them differently. It grounds you in the truth that even in difficulty, there is still something to be thankful for. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's simply the fact that you have another chance to try again today. The beautiful thing about starting your morning with gratitude is that it doesn't require anything external. You don't need more money, a promotion, or someone else's approval. You already have the raw material. It's breath, it's heartbeat, it's life. From there, gratitude expands. Once you acknowledge the first blessing, you begin to notice others. The roof over your head, the clean water in your glass, the ability to read these words. None of these are guaranteed, yet here they are, available to you. Gratitude multiplies when you practice it. But here's the challenge: it has to be intentional. Gratitude doesn't happen by accident in a world that constantly tells us what we lack, what we should fear, what we're missing out on. If you don't pause to claim gratitude, the noise of comparison and worry will claim you. That's why this first blessing matters so much. It interrupts the default pattern of rushing into stress and replaces it with perspective. Try this tomorrow. The moment you wake up, before the phone, before the news, before the demands, say it to yourself: I am alive, and that's my first blessing. Breathe it in. Let it settle. Say it again if you need to. Notice how your body feels when you anchor yourself in that truth. Notice how the weight of your challenges shifts when you recognize that the very fact you can face them is proof of your blessing. And here's the deeper truth: when you live with gratitude for being alive, it changes how you show up for others. You listen better. You appreciate people more. You become more patient because you realize time is precious and you don't want to waste it on resentment or bitterness. Gratitude for life creates generosity in spirit. It reminds you that while you can't control every outcome, you can control how you show up in the world. We've been conditioned to think blessings only come in extraordinary moments. A big success, a financial windfall, a dream fulfilled. But the real blessing is the fact that you woke up today. Everything else is built on that foundation. Gratitude starts there. Without it, nothing else matters. With it, everything else becomes possible. So when you open your eyes tomorrow morning, resist the urge to rush. Don't let your first thought be about what you lack or what you fear. Let your first thought be about what you have. Let it be gratitude, because gratitude isn't just a nice feeling. It's the fuel that powers everything else. It's the lens that helps you see possibility where others see problems. It's the reminder that even if today isn't perfect, the fact that you're here means it's already a gift. And if you carry that truth with you, every step, every decision, every interaction will feel different. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You chose to start with gratitude. You chose to acknowledge your first blessing. And that choice, as simple as it sounds, has the power to change everything about your day. And maybe if you let it, everything about your life. I have a purpose today. Those words carry more weight than we realize. They are not just a sentence. They are a declaration, a choice, a compass pointing us toward what truly matters. Every single one of us craves meaning. We long to feel that our existence is not random, that the moments we live are not wasted. Yet for so many, the morning begins with an alarm, a rush, a scroll through endless feeds, and then the cycle repeats. It's as if we're waiting for something or someone to hand us meaning, to deliver purpose wrapped neatly at our doorstep. But purpose doesn't work that way. Purpose is not a sign, it's chosen. It doesn't arrive with applause, nor does it always announce itself with fireworks. More often than not, it whispers quietly, waiting for us to listen. The moment we wake up and say, I have a purpose today, we are no longer drifting. We become intentional, we stop existing by default and begin living by design. What makes this so powerful is that purpose is not reserved for a select few. It isn't only for leaders, innovators, or people with grand platforms. Purpose exists in the ordinary. It lives in the way you look someone in the eye when you greet them. It lives in the patience you show to a colleague who's struggling. It lives in the way you hug your child a little tighter before they leave for school. Purpose can be as simple as deciding to listen deeply when someone needs to be heard. I once met a man who worked in housekeeping at a hospital. By the world's measure, his job was not glamorous. He wasn't a doctor saving lives, nor a researcher finding cures. But when I asked him what kept him motivated every day, his answer shook me. He said, my purpose is to make sure every patient who wakes up in this room feels safe, feels clean, and knows that someone cares enough to give them dignity. That was it. That was his purpose. And because of that choice, he transformed the energy of every room he entered. Purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers through the mop in a hospital room, through the smile of a bus driver, through the quiet acts that no one applauds but everyone feels. We've been conditioned to think purpose must be monumental, that unless we're changing the world, we're not living with meaning. But think about it. What if changing the world actually begins with changing one person's world today? Imagine if every interaction you had today carried the possibility of making someone feel valued, respected, or loved. That's purpose. And when you repeat that daily, consistently, it becomes the ripple that shapes families, workplaces, communities, and eventually the world. The danger of living without purpose is not that life becomes unbearable. It's that life becomes empty. You can fill your day with endless tasks, notifications, deadlines, and distractions, and still end it feeling unfulfilled. Because purpose is not about how much you do, it's about why you do it. Without a why, all the what's become meaningless. Think about mornings. Most of us wake up and immediately jump into the what. What emails do I need to respond to? What meetings are on my calendar? What problems do I need to solve? But if you start with why, with a purpose, you approach those same tasks differently. You don't just attend a meeting, you look for an opportunity to uplift someone in it. You don't just answer an email, you make sure the person on the other side feels clarity and respect. You don't just eat breakfast with your family, you use that moment to remind them they matter to you. Purpose transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, not because the activity changes, but because your intention does. I've seen this truth play out countless times. A teacher walks into her classroom every day, not simply to cover the curriculum, but to ignite curiosity. That's her purpose. A firefighter suits up not just to put out flames, but to protect families and give them another tomorrow. That's his purpose. A single parent works long hours not just to pay the bills, but to build a future their child can stand on. That's their purpose. The act itself may look simple, but the meaning behind it makes it profound. Here's the beauty. You don't need to find your lifelong, unshakable purpose to start. That's where so many people get stuck. They think purpose must be permanent, carved in stone once and for all. But what if purpose is fluid? What if today your purpose is to show up fully at work, and tomorrow it's to care for a loved one, and next week it's to invest in your own growth? Purpose can evolve. What matters is that you choose one for today. Because when you wake up and declare, I have a purpose today, you give yourself direction, you give yourself meaning. And direction, even in small steps, is what leads us forward. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine waking up with no purpose. The day drifts, hours pass, and by evening you wonder what you even accomplished. You may have done things, checked boxes, responded to messages, but did it matter? Did it bring meaning? Did it connect you to something greater than yourself? That's the haunting question so many wrestle with at the end of the day. But when you begin your morning with purpose, that question is answered before it's even asked. Purpose also connects us to others. When you live with intention, people feel it, they notice the difference. They see that you're not just clocking in, not just going through the motions, they see that you care, and care is contagious. purpose spreads. One act of kindness can ripple into another. One moment of patience can diffuse tension for an entire team. One choice to encourage someone can unlock potential they didn't even know they had. Purpose multiplies because it awakens meaning not just in you, but in everyone you encounter. And maybe that's the most inspiring part. Living with purpose today isn't only about you. It's about what you unlock in others. A leader with purpose doesn't just accomplish goals, they inspire people to believe in themselves. A parent with purpose doesn't just raise children, they raise human beings with confidence and compassion. A friend with purpose doesn't just spend time with you, they remind you that you're not alone. So when you wake up tomorrow and say, I have a purpose today, know that you're not just anchoring your own life in meaning. You're shaping the lives around you. You're writing a story that doesn't need headlines to matter. You're planting seeds of significance in moments most people overlook. And those seeds, when nurtured daily, grow into a life not just lived, but lived well. Because in the end, the measure of a meaningful life isn't how much we achieve, but how deeply we lived each moment with intention. And that begins not someday, but today, with the simple yet powerful choice to declare, I have a purpose today. I am capable, even if it's hard. Those words are not just a simple affirmation, they are a declaration of war against doubt. Because every single day, we wake up to a world that will test us in ways both subtle and seismic. The alarm clock that rings too early, the traffic that tries your patience, the email that carries bad news, the responsibilities that weigh like bricks on your shoulders. These may seem like small moments, but they stack. And then there are the bigger ones, the unexpected illness, the betrayal, the loss, the dream that feels like it's slipping out of reach. Life will always find ways to whisper, you're not enough. But the truth is, you are capable even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you couldn't do something and then you did? We underestimate our own history of resilience. You've already carried burdens that once felt impossible. That exam you thought you would fail but didn't. That interview you walked into trembling but walked out of victorious. That heartbreak you were certain would shatter you, yet somehow you picked up the pieces and kept moving. These are not just memories, they are proof. Proof that you are stronger than you realize. Proof that you have survived the days that once convinced you they would break you. And science supports this. Neuroscientists have found that when we speak affirmations like, I am capable, the brain responds as if the achievement is already in motion. The reward centers ignite, the same centers that light up when we experience joy, love, and triumph. What does that mean? It means your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. They plant belief into the soul of your mind, and belief is what shapes behavior. Because when you tell yourself you are capable, you don't just change your mood, you change your posture, your energy, your actions. You walk differently, you carry yourself differently, you show up differently. But here's the thing, being capable does not mean being fearless, it means being willing. Fear will always be there. The trembling before you speak in front of a crowd, the uncertainty before you step into a new job, the hesitation before you confess your dream to the world. Fear is part of the package. But capability is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward in spite of it. It is standing at the foot of the mountain and saying, yes, it's high. Yes, it's hard, but my legs were made to climb. Think back to the last time you did something that scared you. Maybe it was moving to a new city. Maybe it was asking for help when pride wanted you to stay silent. Maybe it was raising your hand in a room full of people when you felt invisible. Those moments are evidence. Evidence that capability is not an abstract idea, it's a lived reality. You have already proven it over and over again. You simply need to remind yourself of it. The danger is that most of us let the voice of doubt speak louder than the voice of truth. Doubt is sneaky. It doesn't show up with a megaphone, it whispers, it tells you you're not ready, you're not smart enough, you're not worthy. And too often we agree, we nod silently in our own minds. But here's the shift every morning. Before the world gets the chance to define you, you must define yourself. Stand in front of that mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, I am capable even if it's hard, because the story you tell yourself in the morning determines the way you carry yourself through the day. I once spoke with a woman who had been through more challenges than most of us could imagine, loss, rejection, disappointment after disappointment. I asked her how she kept going. She said, I just tell myself, if I've made it this far, I can make it further. That is what capability sounds like. Not a denial of difficulty, not a naive optimism, but a grounded belief that the strength within you has already been proven. And we all need to remember that capability is not about doing everything alone. Sometimes being capable means asking for help. Sometimes it means admitting you don't know yet, but you're willing to learn. Sometimes it means failing and still showing up again. Capability is not about perfection, it's about persistence. The people we admire most, the inventors, the leaders, the artists, the parents who raised us, none of them lived lives free of struggle. In fact, their greatness was shaped by struggle. The Wright brothers failed dozens of times before taking flight. Thomas Edison was told he was too foolish to succeed. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Every one of them faced moments where the mountain looked too high. And yet they told themselves, I am capable, even if it's hard. That became the bridge between who they were and who they became. So when you feel the weight of doubt pressing against you, remember this difficulty is not a stop sign, it's a signal. a signal that you are growing, stretching, reaching. And growth has always been uncomfortable. That knot in your stomach, that tightness in your chest, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're alive, you're engaged, you're stepping outside the safety of the familiar. Let's be honest, there will be days you don't feel capable. Days where the bed feels safer than the world. Days where no affirmation feels strong enough. And on those days, remember, you don't need to feel capable to be capable. Action often precedes belief. When you take the first step, however small, capability follows. The power is not in eliminating doubt, but in choosing movement in the presence of it. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and the weight of the day presses against your chest, whisper to yourself, I am capable even if it's hard. And then take the step. Send the email, make the call, start the project, say the words. Because every time you act in alignment with capability, you build a foundation stronger than fear. You've already proven this truth countless times. You survived the days you thought you wouldn't. You endured storms that felt endless. You climbed mountains you didn't think you had the strength for. So the next time life hands you a challenge, don't shrink, don't retreat. Stand tall and remember who you are. You are capable, even if it's hard. Especially if it's hard, because hard is where transformation lies. Hard is where strength is forged. Hard is where ordinary ends and extraordinary begins. And you, whether you believe it or not in this very moment, are more than ready for it. Today, I choose progress over perfection. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But behind these words lies a truth that has the power to change the way we live, work, and even dream. Perfection is one of the greatest traps we fall into as human beings. It convinces us that unless we can do something flawlessly, it's not worth doing at all. It whispers in our ears that failure is unacceptable, that mistakes are shameful, that beginnings must look like endings. And because of that, so many dreams never leave the safety of our minds. So many projects never get started. So many lives never step into their fullest potential. Think about it. How many times have you hesitated to start something because you told yourself, I'm not ready yet? Maybe you had an idea for a business, but you said, I don't have enough money. Maybe you wanted to write a book, but you thought, I don't know if my writing is good enough. Or maybe you wanted to change your health, your relationships, your career, but you felt you needed the perfect plan before you could begin. That's perfection talking. It's not real. It's fear dressed up in fancy clothes. Progress, on the other hand, is the opposite. Progress is messy. It's imperfect. It's filled with trial and error, with falling and getting back up. But progress is where the magic happens. Progress is the bridge between the life we dream of and the life we live. Progress doesn't demand flawless execution. It only asks for one thing: that you take the next step. Look at history. Thomas Edison didn't sit down one day and invent the light bulb in a stroke of genius. He tried, and he failed. He tried again, and he failed again, over and over. In fact, he discovered more than 1,000 ways that didn't work before he found the one way that did. Imagine if he had waited for perfection, if he had said to himself, I can't show the world until I get it right the first time. We'd literally still be sitting in the dark. Progress lit the world, not perfection. Or consider the story of the Wright brothers. They weren't engineers with endless resources. They were bicycle mechanics with a dream of flying. Their early attempts at flight were clumsy, even laughable. Their planes crashed again and again. But they kept showing up. They kept tweaking, adjusting, learning. Progress was their teacher. Perfection would have been their prison. And because they chose progress, the world took to the skies. Now bring this closer to your own life. Maybe your dream doesn't involve light bulbs or airplanes, but it matters just as much to you. Maybe it's the courage to change careers. Maybe it's the discipline to wake up earlier, to take care of your body, or to build a relationship that feels honest and true. Whatever it is, the temptation will always be to wait until you're ready, until the timing feels perfect, until the stars align. But let me tell you a secret. You'll never feel completely ready. The timing will never be flawless. The stars don't align on command. Waiting for perfection is just another way of saying not today. And not today too often turns into never. But progress, that's different. Progress says start where you are with what you have and do what you can. Progress honors the small step. One phone call, one workout, one page written, $1 saved. That's enough. Because enough compounded over time becomes extraordinary. Think about compound interest in financing. A small, steady investment made consistently grows into wealth that seems impossible at the beginning. Life works the same way. Small, steady progress made daily becomes a transformation that looks miraculous in hindsight. The trouble is, we don't always celebrate progress. We dismiss it. We tell ourselves it's just one workout. It's just one paragraph. It's just one step. But progress compounds. That one workout becomes 2, then 10, then a healthier, stronger body. That one paragraph becomes a page, then a chapter, then a book that inspires others. That one step becomes a journey that reshapes your life. Here's the truth. Nobody gets to greatness by skipping the messy middle. Every masterpiece is born out of drafts that nobody saw. Every speech, every invention, every performance has a trail of failed attempts behind it. You don't see the hours of frustration, the notebooks filled with crossed out ideas, the rejections, the setbacks. All you see is the final result, and it looks perfect. But perfection is just the highlight reel of progress. So when you wake up in the morning and whisper to yourself, today, I choose progress over perfection. You're making a powerful decision. You're saying, I won't let the fear of failure stop me. I won't let the illusion of perfection paralyze me. I will move forward, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's not what I pictured in my head. That decision puts you in motion, and motion is where life begins to change. Think of a rocket ship. Most of its fuel is burned not in outer space, but in the first few minutes of launch, just to break free from gravity. Progress feels the same. The first step takes the most courage, the most energy, the most willpower. But once you're in motion, momentum builds, it gets easier. You begin to see results, and those results fuel you to keep going. And here's the most beautiful part: progress is contagious. When you choose progress, you give permission to the people around you to do the same. Your children, your friends, your coworkers, they watch how you live. If they see you wait for perfection, they learn to wait too. But if they see you try, fail, learn, and try again, they learn the courage to step into their own progress. Your choice becomes a model, an invitation for others to move forward. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is real. Perfection is sterile. Progress is alive. Perfection shuts doors. Progress opens them. And when you choose progress, you choose growth. You choose resilience. You choose courage. So ask yourself, what's the one step you can take today? Not the 100 steps you'll need eventually.